In Petalburg Woods, time seems to stand still within every slow breath. Slakoth spends 20 hours a day sleeping, ignoring the turning world. 1 heartbeat per minute proves the most minimalist lifestyle in existence. 3 leaves a day suffice to maintain its silent, unmoving existence. This laziness is a test of patience for every annoying intruder. When the final limit breaks, suppressed energy will explode violently. Vigoroth rises, a frenzied entity unable to stand still for a second. Its heart beats frantically now, driving a path of pure destruction. Rage turns the slacker into an arrogant and brutal gladiator. Blind arrogance leads it to challenge the true rulers of the forest. The conceited one pays dearly when facing power beyond its reach. The shame of the defeated is the fuel for ultimate ascension. Slaking appears, a titan carrying utter contempt for all of existence. Slaking lies still, ignoring every attack like fallen grains of dust. Laziness at this moment is the ultimate expression of true power. When the foe collapses from exhaustion, the king finally begins to act. Hammer arm, a strike ending all resistance in total and absolute humiliation. The victor needs no roar, only to lie down and enjoy. Lazy instincts return, but now carrying the prestige of a monarch. None dare wake the one who can destroy the entire forest. Laziness is contagious, creating a territory of absolute and profound silence. Sometimes swimming is the only way they move without getting tired. They are like phones forever stuck in ultra power saving mode. The dark night is when the giant's fighting instincts truly awaken. Immense power forces it to occasionally find a way to release. The cycle of slackness begins again under the warm morning sun. Laziness is not weakness, it is pure contempt for the enemy. The strongest is the one who needs to prove nothing more. The world turns. But the slacker king remains forever unchanged. Slaking, the slumbering giant in the kingdom of absolute forgetfulness. At the roof of the world, life exists in a state of constant suspension. For a Swablu, cleanliness is the only barrier between flight and a frozen death. Every speck of dust, added weight, is a fatal sentence in the thin air. In the nursery of ice, warmth is a currency shared through soft song. They navigate the invisible rivers of the sky, masters of aerodynamic efficiency, grace. A predator emerges, clad in iron and fueled by the hunger of winter. Corviknight strikes with the weight of a falling anvil against drifting silk. Chaos shatters the collective, leaving the most vulnerable to face the steel gale. Contaminated and heavy, the bird's biological advantage vanishes in an instant of terror. Survival now depends on the narrow margins where metal cannot follow the soft. Breath turns to ice as the shadow of the corvid looms over crevice. Nature offers no mercy to the weak, only the chance to transcend limits. Lost in the vortex, the small creature reaches the threshold of its fragility. Adrenaline ignites a dormant lineage, a primal fire buried deep within the cotton. Evolution is a violent response to the threat of extinction in the wild. From the ruins of a songbird rises a titan of the upper atmosphere. Altaria stands as the embodiment of the sky's hidden, ancient, and draconic majesty. The predator finds itself outmatched by the very air it once sought conquer. A roar vibrates through the mist, carrying the weight of 1,000 storms. The song of Altaria stabilizes the chaotic currents, bringing peace to the realm. The flock recognizes their new guardian, a living cloud of ancient power. They migrate not as fugitives, but as masters of the endless golden horizon. Leadership in the wild is earned through the sacrifice of one's own fragility. The boundary between creature and cosmos dissolves in the silence of the heights. In the misty rainforest, the gentlest dragon begins its quiet and humble life. With a soft body, Gumi hides in the shade to preserve its vital essence. Pure instincts help it sense any incoming danger and hide away very quickly. The slippery mucus layer neutralizes every attack from the fierce and wild predators. As it matures, it evolves into Sliggoo with a strong and protective instinct. Though its vision fades, it senses the world through every tiny, subtle vibration. Sliggoo begins to show protective reflexes, standing firm in front of its kind. Under heavy rain, the protective instinct transforms it into a brand new form. Gudra rises like a living shield, standing between danger and fragile lives. Dragon power is used for defense rather than for any destructive dark purposes. After the storm, it returns to its gentle nature and loving protective care. Rain washes away traces of conflict, returning the forest to its original peace. The story of the gentle shield will remain forever green beneath the forest. The tiny life gathers every drop of water to nurture its dragon dream. Without using its eyes, it sees the world through deep and profound empathy. Powerful hands are now the tools used to rebuild and recreate their home. A gentle heart spreads healing power to every weak and fragile living soul. It controls the rain to maintain the lifeblood for the entire green forest. Resilience is forged from standing firm amidst the rushing and heavy waterfalls. The leader's presence is the strongest barrier against any incoming deadly threats. The Dragon Guardian stays awake to protect the small and fragile dreams. Gudra, the embodiment of pure love and the vast compassionate protection. In the damp shadows, life begins where the sun barely touches the soil. Their rounded bodies are biological sponges, absorbing life from the forest's decay. This living mist creates a sensory labyrinth, disorienting any who dare to trespass. Safety is found in numbers, a collective strength born from individual frailty. The elders shower the young in spores, a vital ritual for fungal growth. Adaptation is ingrained in their breath, a symbiotic bond with the dark woods. A biological disaster arrives, a tide of toxic sludge that consumes the earth. The fertile ground turns to rot, breaking the balance of the fungal sanctuary. Desperate clouds of toxin are released, but the invader remains an unstoppable force. The biological barrier shatters, forcing the peaceful colony into a brutal exodus. To survive, they must move faster than their biology was ever meant to. Stress triggers a radical transformation. Limbs lengthen to outrun the spreading decay. A warrior is born from the ruins. Breloom rises as the forest's shield. No longer a passive scavenger, it claims the role of an active protector. Precision strikes deliver spores directly into the heart of the chemical abyss. Vertical force meets toxic mass, blowing purifying spores deep into the infection. The intruder's grip weakens as its internal chemistry is neutralized by nature. Silence returns to the grove, though the earth still bears the scars of battle. Purifying dust falls like rain, healing the soil from the touch of decay. Strength is now a shield, ensuring the cycle of growth can begin once more. The scavenger nurtures the forest, while the warrior defends its future. Evolution is the ultimate bridge between survival and the preservation of life. In the deep, dark caves, life needs no light to find its way. They map the world through the overlapping sonic pulses of the entire colony. Constant pressure to use sonic waves drives a powerful transformation. Golbat emerges with a massive maw to master the entire cave space. Golbat guards the territory, using sonic waves to confuse invaders. Some individuals refuse to retreat, chasing the enemy to their limits. When hearing and movement synchronize, Crobat awakens as a living sound wave. Crobat possesses extraordinary speed, far surpassing the ancient species. With optimal reflexes, it forces the enemy to abandon the sacred territory. The four-winged guardian brings peace to thousands of tiny lives. When night falls, the army of shadows begins its nightly hunt. They survive by draining energy, nurturing the persistent bloodline. Eternal vigilance keeps the colony safe within the silent darkness. Kinship binds them together through the most unique of sonic frequencies. The Guardian's movements maintain the lifeblood of the cave ecosystem. Darkness is the sanctuary and the throne of the ancient bat race. Absolute silence is the most terrifying weapon of the Guardian. They build their world through the power of invisible vibrations. Speed is the answer to every harsh challenge of the natural world. Unity helps them overcome the bone-chilling cold of the earth layers. Light is the enemy, darkness is the mother, protecting the pride. Crobat, the Night Guardian, the embodiment of speed and loyalty. The story of the Sonic Soul will echo forever within the cave. In Ultimar, the line between reality and myth is thin as mist. Latios and Latios, the invisible guardians of the sky. Latios can fly faster than the most advanced jet plane. Latios uses its glass-like down to refract light and disappear. The Soul Dew, a treasure holding the soul and infinite power of the Eon line. Latios is sensitive to every emotional vibration in space, sensing hostility. Latios immediately warns with a shrill cry. Latios is ready to protect Latios, despite its gentle nature. Sight sharing allows Latios to transmit images of the enemy. Luster Purge, a psychic strike that weakens the foe's defense. Mist Ball confuses the senses, hiding Soul Dew from evil. shadow power begins to overwhelm Latios' psychic barriers. Resonance between soul and treasure triggers the Mega process. Mega Latios and Mega Latios, the union of intellect and firepower. Mega Latios boosts its defense, withstanding all attacks. Mega Latios explodes with offensive power, becoming a heavy spear. Evil is repelled by the bond between Latios and Latios. When danger passes, Latios and Latios return to balance. Latios always protects Latios with deep affection. The human world remains unaware of Latios and Latios' battle. Latios and Latios understand humans, but choose to stay beyond fame. The levitate ability grants Latios and Latios freedom of movement. Psychic resonance allows Latios and Latios to feel each other from afar. Guardians, Latios and Latios are always ready for their mission. Sight sharing is used by Latios to share beauty with Latios. The soul of Latios, Latios and Soul Do are a single entity. Latios and Latios vanish as soon as a strange intrusion is sensed. The planet's peace is guarded by Latios and Latios. In Charisific Valley, Charizard pride transcends all boundaries. Two young Charizard leave the pack to seek the ultimate challenge, the Grey Crags, a forbidden zone where ancient rulers hide. Hydreigon emerges, ready to eliminate the intruding Charizard. Garchomp rises from the abyss to complete the encirclement. When the brink of death nears, the Charizard Y bond explodes. Mega Charizard Y, the wind deity commanding the sky and light. The drought ability activates, incinerating Hydreigon's darkness. Solar power is concentrated by Mega Charizard Y into a single strike. On the ground, a violent Charizardite X transformation occurs. Mega Charizard X, a true black dragon bearing lethal blue flames. Mega Charizard X bears dragon-type power and ultimate physical claws. Tough claws amplify damage from Mega Charizard X in close quarters. Garchomp and Hydreigon are forced to yield to the Mega power. The battle ends, leaving a new definition of evolution. Both Charizard return not just as warriors, but as legends. Charizard's journey to becoming a true dragon has only just begun. Mega Charizard Y's Heatwave purges the Forbidden Zone. Garchomp struggles to end the battle on the ground. Hydreigon strikes multi-directionally to seal Mega Charizard Y. Mega Charizard Y's flight speed defies biological limits. Hydreigon does not yield its sky so easily. Mega Charizard Y borrows solar energy to reinforce itself. Mega Charizard X launches Flare Blitz with extreme heat. Hydreigon's dominance over the Grey Crags is shattered. Fatigue cannot hide the pride of the two Charizard. Every scar is a certificate of Charizard's ascension. Both Charizard return, bearing the prestige of conquerors. Recognition from the elder Charizard is the best reward. A new era for Charisific Valley begins. Dawn awakens on the green grasslands, where life begins with the warmest rays. Chikorita enjoys its photosynthesis process, recharging full energy for a brand new day in nature. The leaf on its head acts as a sensor, helping it detect the environment. Early physical exercises help the small creature prepare for the harsh survival battle. Its gentle nature drives it to share energy with the fading plants nearby. Danger corners the small creature into a very perilous life or death situation now. Extreme fear triggers the evolutionary mechanism, completely changing its biological structure now. Bayleaf emerges from light, bringing much more powerful biological weapons for defense. This characteristic scent is used to threaten and stimulate a fierce fighting spirit. The razor leaves cannot pierce through the tough metal shell of the violent and aggressive winged predator. The Alpha Meganium appears, bringing the power of life and boundless compassion. Meganium's breath contains herbal essences, capable of soothing all aggression and anger. Powerful regenerative power awakens nature, turning the battlefield into a beautiful flower garden. Aromatherapy heals the body and dispels negative emotions within the newly grown child. The bond between generations creates a strong protective circle for this delicate ecosystem. Wherever they go, life sprouts there, reviving the withered lands with vibrant energy. All species recognize the guardian god of the vast and green herbal kingdom. Its mission is to maintain the balance and beauty of the natural vegetation. Lessons of sharing nurture a new and selfless soul for the future generation. Its giant silhouette acts as a landmark of absolute and true peace for all. Meganium's presence dispels the shadow of fear, bringing paradise for the weak ones. It understands that power is not for destruction, but for creating a better world. Compassion transcends species boundaries, binding all creatures in a harmonious community. Life spreads like a brilliant wave, erasing all traces of aridity and death. Those eyes hold a peaceful world, with no room for violence and hatred. Even in the dark night, its scent still guides the souls that are lost. These magical dust particles carry life to the most remote corners of the region. It is the link between earth and sky, the keeper of nature's vital flame. At Anova's highest peak, 2 ancient stones hold a source of massive energy. 2 ancient stones awaken, emitting heat and lightning with immense and great power. Reshiram rises, its majestic figure brightening the entire space around the high tower. Zekrom appears, with turbine engine sounds echoing through the ancient rocky cliffs. Overdrive mode activates, releasing extremely powerful heat and intense electromagnetic fields. Reshiram soars, the jet fire making the sky clear, very dry and hot. Zekrom moves, dragging pitch-black storm clouds and lightning bolts that strike constantly. Creatures watch in fear as the sky is split by heat and storms. Zekrom's field disrupts the navigation of dragonite flocks flying in the storm. The presence of both entities creates a truly magnificent and epic meteorological phenomenon. 2 dragon gods face off, ready to demonstrate their ultimate and primal power. Reshiram releases blue flare, a concentrated heat stream aimed directly at its opponent. Zekrom wraps in an electric cocoon, charging like a meteor with lightning energy. The collision moment creates a shockwave that shakes both space and time now. The 2 dragon entities perform a powerful ritual of exchanging their immense strength. Every physical collision creates massive and intense energy aftershocks in the high atmosphere. After sparring, both dragons stop, silently acknowledging each other's immense and formidable power. Time freezes as the 2 gods stand between the boundaries of light and darkness. Reshiram moves, the rocket flare from its tail stretching into a fire ribbon. Zekrom vanishes into black clouds, leaving blue lightning bolts striking at the ground. Reshiram leaves behind warmth spreading through the old and very cold ancient forests. Zekrom's power is etched into stones, proving the expansion of intense electrical energy. Flying Pokémon find their trajectories again as the two gods have already departed. Aftershocks of awakening still exist, reminding all species of the immense dragon power. Reshiram's movement over the ocean creates dense fog caused by extreme heat temperatures. Energy from Zekrom turns desert sand into crystals sparkling under the blue lightning. Two gods merge into the universe, guarding the vital pulses of Mother Nature. All creatures feel the sacred presence of the two legendary and ancient gods. Legend of dragon gods will last forever, reminding us of nature's immense power. In warm geothermal caves, a high-energy creature begins its clumsy life with a very bold spirit. Jebel, the land shark, possesses a naturally aggressive nature but remains incredibly playful and very curious. Its massive mouth can gobble up anything that moves within its immediate and very sharp field of vision. Jebel lives by the privilege of being protected by one of the forest's most powerful apex tyrants. Overconfident in that protection, Gibble decides to leave the cave to explore the vast outside world. It does not know that beyond its mother's boundaries, the laws of survival become much more brutal. Jebel encounters a peer rival, Jangmo-o, a dragon warrior training its very hard and metallic scales. The clumsy bite hits scales as hard as steel, forcing Jebel to pay with its own teeth. Jebel's teeth will grow back quickly, but this deep humiliation is a wound much harder to heal. Hakamo-o, the protective older brother, appears to retaliate against the stranger's very unreasonable and bold aggression. Pushed into a corner, fear begins to trigger a powerful energy hidden deep within its primal soul. In a crisis, the pseudo-legendary gene reacts strongly, driving a forced and very intense evolutionary process. Gabite emerges with sharp arms, ready to fight back to defend its own dignity and pride. However, the vast gap in combat experience remains a very significant hurdle for the newly evolved creature. Amidst the life and death moment, Mother Garchomp appears like a ghost of destruction from high above the cliffs. There is no pampered protection. The mother only leaves behind a very stern lesson about self-reliance. Today's failure becomes the foundation for the predator's burning ambition to reach the absolute summit of power. It begins days of arduous training, learning to master the powers of Earth and the dragon's blood. Learning from the master, it understands that patience is the key to every successful and efficient hunt. Rough skin ability gradually forms, turning its body into a very dangerous and effective counter-attacking weapon. After years of intense training, the time for the final and most grand transformation has finally approached. It no longer needs protection. It is now the formidable guardian of its own vast and rocky territory. Garchomp is born, a war god of sky and earth, with speed that surpasses the very sound barrier. Dragon power explodes, asserting the absolute status of one who rose from a very bitter past failure. The natural world now bows before the majesty of the newly crowned and very powerful Sky Ruler. True happiness is when we master our own destiny and reach the most magnificent and lofty peaks. Strength comes not from blood, but from the will to overcome all harsh and very cruel challenges. Deep within the volcano, ancient geothermal energy begins to awaken after millions of dormant years. Beneath the ocean floor, the primal force of the sea responds to the call of destiny. Primal Groudon awakens, bringing extreme heat capable of incinerating every fragile trace of life. Primal Kyogre rises, summoning torrential rains to submerge the continents within the vast ocean. As continents expand violently, the ocean responds with tsunamis that swallow every high mountain peak. The conflict between fire and water creates terrifying steam explosions from the deep abyss. Primal energy pulses are powerful enough to crush any continent striving to expand into the sea. From the high ozone layer, the Sky Lord observes the collapse of the world's order. It consumes meteoroids to fuel its Mikado organ, preparing for a grand transformation. Mega Ray Quasar rises, the embodiment of ultimate power intended to restore peace to the Earth. Delta Stream winds dissipate the storms, using absolute authority to halt the ancient conflict. The roar carries the universe's command, forcing ancient entities to awaken from their blind rage. With Dragon Ascent, it sweeps away all resistance and repels the forces of destruction. Defeated by the heavens, the continent creator retreats to sleep within the geological core. Order is restored, a testament to the irreplaceable role of the sky's supreme guardian. The mediation mission ends, and the Guardian begins its journey back to its lofty kingdom. Life revives under a peaceful sky, where gentle breezes replace the devastating storms. The ozone layer returns to being a silent fortress, guarded by the powerful Protector. It continues to guard against cosmic threats, protecting the world from intrusion. Rayquaza returns to the vast darkness, where it continues its eternal protective mission. The world has regained its rhythm after the wrath of the super-ancient gods. The remaining traces remind us of a battle that shaped the very foundation of our world. Balance has returned, but the primal forces are waiting for their day of awakening. Legends will be passed down, honoring the entities that constructed the Earth. The Genesis journey ends, leaving a peaceful world under the protection of the Lord. Deep within Mount Silver, a growth cycle begins in darkness and absolute silence. Larvitar is born with a single goal: to consume enough geological matter to prepare for a massive transformation. Maternal protection is a fleeting luxury. To trigger its metamorphic clock, it must venture into the abrasive world alone. Its digestive system is a biological blast furnace capable of breaking down dense silicates into pure elemental energy. At this fragile stage, its primary defense is a dermal layer reinforced by the very soil it consumes. The journey to Asado is a trial by heat, forcing the Larvitar to compress its internal energy to prevent dehydration. It must consume a mountain's worth of matter, a massive intake required for the impending cellular restructuring. Survival here is not just about strength, but the endurance of one's biological armor against apex predators. Utilizing its low center of gravity, the Larvitar converts tectonic pressure into a devastating physical counterforce. The predator relents. The Larvitar's internal furnace is now nearing critical mass, signaling the end of its mobile phase. The Larvitar seals itself within a chrysalis of solidified tectonic energy. The transformation into Pupitar begins. For months, it will remain a stationary fortress, its consciousness drifting between a dream of power and the reality of vulnerability. The scent of concentrated energy attracts scavengers eager to crack the shell before the Titan awakens. Inside, the Pupitar generates immense internal pressure, tempering its new body through every external blow. Atmospheric chaos mirrors the biological turbulence within. The pupal stage has reached its zenith. The shell shatters. From the debris of the old self, a mountain-shaping force is unleashed. Tyranitar, the apex of the rock skin lineage, a living monument to evolutionary persistence. Its presence alters the very landscape. A single stride can trigger localized tectonic shifts. No longer a victim of the environment, it has become its master, capable of re-sculpting the earth. To become a mountain, one must first endure its crushing weight. The cycle of the Titan remains unbroken. In the unforgiving depths of the ocean, beauty is often a luxury, but survival is a relentless chore. Meet Phoebus, widely regarded as the most unsightly creature in the marine world, a species forgotten by evolution. Driven by an invisible longing for connection, this solitary being begins its journey toward the brilliant light. But in the kingdom of the elite, there is no place for one with such a wretched and weak appearance. Rejection turns it into a target for the cruel games of predators who see its presence as a blemish. A pod of Palafin hunts not for hunger, but uses the suffering of the weak to display their own dominance. Behind those dull eyes lies a resilient soul, enduring the humiliation of the self-righteous. To them, Phoebus is nothing more than a lifeless toy, a pathetic entity with a bitter taste that saves it from being eaten. However, fate always knows how to test the compassion within creatures turned away by the world. A Milotic, the pinnacle of aquatic grace, is ensnared. Her light is fading against the suffocating grip of human debris. Opportunistic scavengers approach, their mindless curiosity only deepening the legendary creature's agony. For the first time, one who only knew how to flee chooses to fight back to protect a life more precious than its own. Pain has been its long-time companion, and Phoebus has learned to stand when the world wants it to fall. With all its accumulated heat, it scorches the artificial barrier, determined to break the chains binding freedom. In a final burst, the strength of its despair shakes the very boundaries of life and death. The price of salvation is total exhaustion. The unsightly fish sinks into darkness after completing a noble mission. In response to the purest heart, the Ocean Guardian bestows the scale carrying the power of light and time. A divine biological reaction is triggered, shattering the crude shell to release the beauty that was always destined. Ordinary scales shed, giving way to shimmering silk veils, symbols of nobility and ultimate power. Those who once mocked it can now only bow before the presence of a newly reborn legend. True beauty was never absent. It was merely waiting for a heart brave enough to reveal it. In the deep blue, the most humble beginning has led to the most magnificent end.
In this ecology, the ancient tree is the biological anchor, where grass-type Pokémon have thrived for centuries. This is Trico. It possesses a rare stoicism, an absolute self-control in every situation. An incursion is underway. Salazzle, the poison fire reptile, leaves a trail of fire and toxic gas. Trico exhibits defiance. Bravery is not absence of fear, but this may be a biological miscalculation. Traco's adhesion capability defies gravity. Its tail registers the extreme desiccation and stress vibrations. The intruder carries potent toxins. Trico must rely on agility and ambush tactics. Pheromonal exposure makes the environment physiologically toxic. A diversionary attack provides a window for repositioning. Exhaustion is setting in. Every breath is a struggle against hypoxia and extreme thermal pressure. The living pillar is collapsing. Centuries of history are about to end in a single moment. Territorial instinct shifts into biological desperation. This physical exertion has broken the limit. The life cycle nears its end without immediate adaptation. Survival requires an extreme physiological response. The pressure of death activates forced metamorphosis. Biology is desperately attempting to self-regulate. This is Grovyle, a jungle warrior, defined by speed and destructive precision. The ending of the heritage created a new guardian. Speed is the new biological weapon. Grovyle uses its power to neutralize. Self-control remains, but power is magnified. The threat is eliminated. The intruder realizes this new opponent exceeds its capacity. The mission is accomplished. Despite the loss, life always finds a path to renewal. This is the shift from territory guardian to the seed carrier, assuming biological responsibility. The path to Sceptile is a long journey of rebirth and protection. This individual proves that coolness is the mask for a warrior's heart.
At the highest levels of the atmosphere, nature's forces are silently accumulating immense energy. 3 legendary entities, representing ice, lightning, and fire, begin their journey to maintain the planet's balance. As air currents conflict, the world below must prepare for the presence of gods. Articuno, the incarnation of eternal winter, controls atmospheric humidity through crystal-like feathers. At the Seafoam Islands, the harshness of frost can be an enemy, but it can also be salvation. As it flaps to lower the ambient temperature, it creates a protective structure from the very harshness of winter. Mission complete, the Guardian of Frost vanishes once more into the mountain mist. Meanwhile, within human ruins, another source of energy seeks release. Zapdos acts as a living lightning rod, absorbing ionized particles to recharge its body. Each feather is a biological capacitor capable of storing millions of volts in a single flash. It moves like an electric pulse through the atmosphere, dominating the night sky with brutal, flickering light. In lands where the cold reigns too long, If begins within the molten heat of the Earth's core. Moltres, the fire deity. The heat from its body can be felt from miles away, the embodiment of thermal conversion, carrying the warmth necessary for germination. Its appearance signals the end of winter. It is the biological catalyst for rebirth. Moltres of fire is not just to burn, but to light the path for rebirth. At the intersection of three worlds, an absolute balance is about to be restored. When the three deities converge, all climatic conflicts are neutralized by energy resonance. This is the dance of the elements, keeping this planet from falling into ruin due to extreme weather. A new cycle begins in peace, witnessing the power of the Sky Guardians. The last remaining marks, reminding the world that balance is always protected from above. All is part of the grand cycle of life.
This is the Rear Tail Peninsula, where Testudinidae aqua perform their primal reproductive ritual. Survival relies on thermal camouflage within the sand layer. Squirtle emerges. The juvenile shell is the basic adaptation for aquatic life. They require heat to activate their intrinsic hydrodynamic mechanism. Primal attack reflex tests the latent hydraulic projection system. Collaborative behavior generates threshold pressure, a defense strategy. Confidence leads them to venture into deeper territory. The dark zone is the domain of apex hyperpredators. That is Gyarados, a beast evolved from Fury, representing the ocean's aggressive nature. Pure physical impact shatters the huddle strategy. Multiple casualties. They rely entirely on passive shell defense. Gyarados advances. This is the critical moment for survival. Emotional shock and will trigger emergency transmutation, evolution. Accumulated energy undergoes biological restructuring. War Turtle emerges. The feathered tail is the new hydraulic stabilizer. War Turtle confronts the predator with resilient defensive strength. It deploys Shell Smash, turning its body into a hydrodynamic projectile. The tensile strength of the War Turtle shell is proven. It wins through strategic persistence, not brute force. Gyarados retreats. The energy cost of confrontation is too high. Brood survival is ensured. Biological responsibility is transferred. This protective behavior confirms the new role as guardian. It needs to recharge via extreme solar absorption. The harsh survival cycle. Sacrifice ensures species inheritance. War Turtle, the resilient guardian, must continue to evolve. This is the Asado Desert, a harsh biome where lost state is the primary evolutionary driver. Mother Marowak provides biological shielding in a hostile environment. Crocodile represents the unavoidable survival pressure of the Asado biome. Mother Marowak has reached the physical threshold of territorial defense. This mortality event is Cubone's first evolutionary trauma, activating its neurolacrimal gland. The skull absorbs the chemical signature of grief. Burrowing behavior is a neural response to social isolation. The contrast between maternal bonding and loss creates psychological conflict. Isolation is a defense strategy, but also an evolutionary barrier. Crocodile returns. Carbon witnesses a recurring traumatic sequence. Helplessness creates a secondary emotional shock, fracturing the neural barrier. Cubone chooses social interaction over isolation. The impact fractures the final psychological casing. Maternal spirit triggers forced evolution via heritage energy. The skull assimilates into Cubone's skeletal system. Physical transmutation is complete. Marowak emerges. Robust genetic coding is re-established. It deploys bone-rang tactics with superior kinetic force. First social interaction, recognition of territorial defense capacity. Marowak establishes an extra-clan survival alliance. It returns to the trauma epicenter for the release ritual. Marowak is now the sole heir of the Asado Desert. This is the periphery of the evergreen forest. Eevee, a creature of transmutative potential, relies on passive thermal protection. Maternal instinct is the first survival mechanism. The young Eevee attempt muscle development. Unconditioned reflexes and tactile adaptation strengthen the early motor system. Environmental exploration is a key evolutionary factor. Early interaction promotes muscle reinforcement and optimizes propulsion force. Natural foraging behavior and primal predatory instinct are slowly activated. Thermal absorption is key for optimal energy metabolism. Dim light triggers anxiety and the seeking reflex. The predator's aura presence triggers acute shudder reflex. Gengar appears, creating immediate survival pressure. Panic response activates energy. Dark aura erupts. Forced evolution begins. Umbreon emerges. Lunar adaptation is complete. Dark Pulse is deployed. Gengar recognizes the energy cost. Umbreon is exhausted. Minor injury shows the physical toll of evolution. Umbreon seeks strategic shelter in deep shadow. The dark pelt allows perfect camouflage. eyes scan for danger signs. Umbreon begins patrolling its new territory. The short roar asserts territory. Its first predatory action is to replenish energy reserves. Umbreon, the night sentinel, stands alone in its new domain.
Deep in the abyss exist entities forged in the very likeness of the cosmos. Their quartz hearts pulse to a mysterious rhythm from a distant, ancient galaxy. Void of mouths, they absorb raw energy through a specialized, permeable biological membrane. An apex predator emerges, sweeping the reef with a lethal bioelectric current. Survival instinct demands the Staryu extinguish its brilliant, luring internal core light. A single erratic pulse could transform this hidden scavenger into a desperate meal. Death approaches with the swiftness of a high-voltage current through the water. Pain is bypassed by nature's most ruthless and efficient biological defense mechanism. It discards a limb to preserve the vital, life-sustaining core at all costs. In the absolute darkness, the thin line between life and death fades away. Infinite regeneration renders the Staryu a creature of near-immortal biological resilience. A stroke of destiny leads the wounded survivor to an ancient energy source. Evolution is a process of transcendence, both agonizingly painful and profoundly majestic. The Waterstone awakens a genetic code locked away for millions of years. Starmie emerges, a perfect form converging the raw power of the deep sea. Its core has become a superior processor for concentrated psychic energy waves. The predator is unaware that the ocean's food chain has just been inverted. Psychic energy envelops the space, turning soft water into a razor-sharp weapon. Converging beams of light punish those who dare trespass against celestial power. Newfound power brings the heavy solitude of a king without a throne. It no longer belongs to the swarm, it has become part of the night. It descends toward pressures that would crush any ordinary form of life. From the abyss, it begins transmitting cryptic signals into the vast void. High above, the stars are responding to the call from the deep ocean. Each Starmie acts as a relay station for civilizations beyond our own. They observe this world through the lens of weary cosmic travelers. The mystery of their alien origin remains buried in the lightless depths. A star fell into the sea, and now it is finding its way home. The desire to fly begins with a will that refuses the Earth. Every impact is a defiant challenge sent to the planet's gravity. The evolutionary phase demands absolute patience inside a stone cocoon. Cellular mutation occurs intensely, shattering every known biological limit. Salamence awakens. The dreamer has become the sovereign of the skies. No longer imprisoned, the crescent wings slice through the atmosphere. The arrival of a pseudo-legendary strikes terror into former aerial rulers. Dragonfire serves as a proclamation of its new status in the air. Flying is more than movement. It is a state of absolute liberation. A confrontation between two pseudo-legendaries at the mountain's peak. physical collisions carry the 1,000-ton force of the dragon kill. Aggression rises as dragon energy begins to overload in its veins. In rage, Salamence loses all reason, becoming a vessel of pure destruction. A new power beckons, demanding the sacrifice of the last remaining sanity. Mega Evolution transforms the creature into a living machine of war. The blood-soaked crescent appears, tearing through all sonic barriers. Terrifying speed transforms the wings into unstoppable blades of destruction. It flies until exhaustion, merely to savor the feeling of weightlessness. The rampage subsides, leaving a soul exhausted but profoundly fulfilled. Even in its dreams, it refuses to let go of the sky. The dream of one is the continuation of another's burning desire. The sky remains fair to those who dare leap into the abyss. Competition is the fuel that drives them to reach new, untouchable heights. What remains is a testament to an unyielding, ironclad will. A new day begins where the sky knows no final boundaries.